Good afternoon, honorable ministers in the House and everyone. May I humbly request that we all get seated as we start our ceremony this afternoon. Minister of Local Governments and Rural Development, Honorable Dr. Benny Malunga Phiri, MP. Former Vice President, Honorable Kumbo Hastings Kachali, MP. Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Honorable Mary Tom Navicha, MP. Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Chimwemwe Chipungu, MP. Minister of Health, Honorable Madaliso Baloi, MP. Minister of Labor, Skills, Innovation, Honorable Joe Chigona, MP. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Charles Muhango. Minister of Energy, Honorable Jeannie Matanga. Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable Francis Foley, MP. The Chief Secretary to Government, Dr. Justin Saidi. The Second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Esther Jolobala, MP, and all members of Parliament present here. Our development partners, the Secretary to Local Government, Reverend Moses Owen Chimpepo, Principal Secretaries and all directors from various MDAs, the
on your behalf, the ministers, the heads of development partners, the PSs, the members of parliament, for responding to your call, Honorable Minister, that they should come and witness this launch. I remember when you came into the office, you gave me 2 assignments, major ones. The first assignment was, I want CDF guidelines down now and not tomorrow. We embarked on that journey, and it was completed by Minister of Finance and Minister of Justice. We started the process, and now the guidelines are out there. Everybody is seeing them. Secondly, you said, apart from the guidelines, what I want is how do we monitor these projects, whether they actually exist or not. And also, it was in the sona of the president that we should have a dashboard that will help monitor all the projects in the country. Today, Honorable Minister, I'm here to report that the 2 assignments have been done. I think the first assignment, we all know, we have seen the guidelines. Today, Honorable Minister, you have invited your colleagues to witness your second assignment that you gave me at the ministry, that we should have a dashboard. I'm gladly reporting, sir, that the dashboard is here and it will be presented today. I don't want to say much, Honorable Minister, but allow me, I have my boss here, the Chief Secretary. So at this juncture, can I invite the Chief Secretary to speak on behalf of government, us who are working in government, pertaining to the dashboard that you are supposed to launch today. Chief Secretary, may I invite you to the podium? I thank you, sir.
The guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Ben Malunga Phiri, the former Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Right Honorable Kumbo Kachali, distinguished cabinet ministers and deputy ministers here present, our development partners here present, senior government officials here present, the regional governor for the center here present, and our ladies from the DPP. It is my singular honor and pleasure to be here to appreciate the role local government is doing. In the first instance, I would like to congratulate Minister of Local Government for this wonderful program where we are reforming the CDF and we are launching the dashboard. Malawi government, under the leadership of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is a government of its own words. They do what they promise, and they promise what they can do. It was during the sona that His Excellency the State President stated that he wants digital implementation in the country. Gone are the days when we were doing manual activities. This is time to show that as a country we are developing. We are reforming today, or we are also launching today, the CDF dashboard. And this dashboard is a clear manifestation that the state president wants openness, accountability in doing government work. The dashboard that will be launched today will be able to show timely results or timely programs of our activities. Imagine we'll be implementing over 2,000 projects. And as a society, as Malawi, we'll be able to see what is happening, what are the progress, what are the challenges, by a click of a button. Even the public will be able to see, not only ministries, even the public will be able to see what is actually happening in the projects. May I, at this point, ask you to give a big hand to the Minister of Local Government for this wonderful activity. As you recall, His Excellency the State President, he also told us about working using the digital system in a number of ways. And this is now happening as a country. We should bear that we are no longer in the old ages. We will be doing our activities, and the government will be able to implement whatever it promised within the shortest period of time. As a country, we are growing, and therefore, we need to grow with time. And thanks to our sponsors, our partners who have joined us in making sure that this program succeeds. And I'm very sure that we as a country will go miles in order to ensure that these activities, these programs, go to the rural areas. Some people thought it was a joke to run a CDF of 5 billion in each constituency. These things will happen, and they are happening now. A big hand to our President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, for the vision and wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Chief Secretary to the government. Ziko Mugombiri, Datogoza Ziko Mugombiri. Ziko Mugombiri, Ziko Mugombiri. Invited guests, just like a funeral, usually would have a church that will have to preside over it. Just like a church will have choirs from different locations. This vision today is a vision of His Excellency the President, Professor Peter Mutharika, and it can't go without the choir behind. So that's to affirm that this is a vision of His Excellency the President, Professor Peter Mutharika. Thank you. The fourth, I enjoy calling him the fourth Vice President of the Republic of Malawi. Otherwise, when you say former, they will begin to think, which one? So the fourth Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Right Honorable Hastings Kumbo Kachari, the Chief Secretary to the government, Dr. Justin Saidi, the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Jorobala, Honorable Minister of Lands, Honorable Chimwemwe Chipungu, MP, Honorable Charles Mhango, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Madalito Aloi, Minister of Health, Honorable Joel Chigona, Minister of Labor, Skills and Innovations, Honorable Navicha Mary, Minister of Gender and National Director for Women in the DPP, Honorable Fore, Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Education, Honorable Tembo, Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Trade and Industrialization, Your Excellency Dr. David, Ambassador of the Republic of Iceland, and all diplomatic partners present, Reverend Moses Chimpepo, Secretary for Local Government and Rural Development, P.S. Pondelani from the Ministry of Finance and Decentralization, and all principal secretaries here present. I have seen honorable members of Parliament, and so many of them, probably it will be a miss of me if I don't ask you to stand. Kindly stand so that then you can be appreciated. Thank you very much. District commissioners and mayor of the city of Lilongwe, and the vice president as well of Maga is here, and probably councillors, chairpersons of councils. You may want to stand as well so that you're appreciated. You are politicians just like ourselves. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me great joy, and indeed, a day like this, when Nkologramoyo decides yet again to deliver. Our meeting today is a meeting that we intend to launch the promises of His Excellency the President. And this marks a significant milestone in the implementation of the reformed CDF, which demonstrate the government's willingness and commitment to transparency, accountability, efficiency, and improved service delivery. Allow me, before I dive down to my speech, to say this room, you have heard that we are not opening with a word of prayer because this is our second meeting. Meaning to say, clearly, there was a meeting before. I am saying this because some people were saying it is a waste of money to go and launch this thing at BICC. This launch of dashboard, we have not paid any money. This room was hired for purposes of presentation of the local authority assessment report, where your council's honorable members, some have gone home with checks of over 3 billion. Others have gone home with checks over 2 billion, 1 billion, and the like, for purposes of service delivery in our rural areas. Number one. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, hypocrisy is not going to change Malawi. the cost of hiding figures, the cost of playing hide and seek, the cost of non-disclosure, lack of transparency and accountability over taxpayers' money has costed this government and the Republic of Malawi millions and projects that would have developed over a period of time. Therefore, any cost, whatever it would have been, when we are providing the nation with a tool where they will monitor their taxpayers' money, is worth any expenditure. Having said that, I'll retaliate the fact that we have not spent any kobo, and here you are monitoring the progress of His Excellency President Professor Peter Mutharika. Allow me to thank His Excellency the President for his vision. In 2019, the President reaffirmed his commitment to developing this country. And as he was running his leadership from 2014, he saw that the change of governments at times slows down development. As such, he decided to come up with the National Planning Commission in Malawi, his brainchild. And today, we've got the National Planning Commission. It is the National Planning Commission that then sat down, aligned the development of this country with other pieces, and came up with the Malawi 2063 agenda. And as requested and as required by the law, any political party that intends to compete in any general election will have to deposit their manifestos before the National Planning Commission. And once the National Planning Commission nods, then you are allowed to use the manifesto. I am pleased to report that the DPP manifesto conforms very well with the aspirations of the Malawi 2063 agenda. That's why it is important for us to sit together here and celebrate a milestone in the history of this Republic of Malawi. In the transparency era, it has never been before. When the President charged me, I made a commitment that we shall develop a dashboard to handle the Constituency Development Fund, whose aim is to enhance transparency, accountability, and enable real-time monitoring of projects that are being implemented across the country. Over a period of time, Malawians have paid taxes. Malawians have cried for their taxes. They never knew how they were going to monitor it. This platform today offers them an opportunity to see where the taxes are going. What was the promise then? What was the dream then? To others, they laughed about it. To me, as a minister responsible, I had a conviction. That conviction and belief brought me to a table where my ministry engaged different stakeholders for us to come up with this dashboard. You may be interested to note that the reformed 5 billion CDF was never given a chance by other quarters. Others thought it was merely a dream. Others thought we did not have capacity. Others thought the dashboard was not going to come through. At some point, I challenged somebody. The question of capacity should never be a story in Malawi, because we've got Malawians that are applying their trades within the World Bank out there. We've got Malawians working with IMF. We've got Malawians working at top positions, international organizations. Why should we be told that we do not have capacity to handle such huge sums of money? We said no, And the president said, we will do it. And today, we have done the deed, and we are launching it. Allow me to indicate a number of things. Number one, the chief executive officers, directors, that includes DCs and officers in the councils, will be involved in the implementation of this reformed CDF. And this dashboard will be part of their daily job. The responsibility will be keeping it up to date with accurate and timely information. Let it be the single source of the truth in the implementation of the projects across Malawi. The Reformed Constituency Development Fund is the cornerstone of the promises and flagship programs of His Excellency the President, Nkulukuta Moyo, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. Through this reform, government has increased the resources going directly to the communities in order to allow the citizens determine the development that they want. Development is no longer supply-driven. It is demand-driven. Honorable Ministers, Fourth Vice President, Chief Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, the increase in investments comes with an increased responsibility. Every kwacha invested under the reformed CDF must produce visible development and results on the ground. Every project that has been approved must be implemented efficiently, effectively, and economically. And every citizen must be able to see that the public resources are being utilized responsibly. And it is because of the above background that this dashboard is being launched today. Allow me to point out that this accountability tool will not only stand in the room, its effectiveness will be when we populate it, when we update it, and when the citizens gives us feedback, then this will be a tool worthy clapping hands. Today, there are over 2,000 reformed CDF projects that are being implemented across the country simultaneously, and that all the 36 councils have dived down and they're making progress. Tracking such huge portfolio manually, trust you me, is not easy. The decision, therefore, by the President to go and monitor these electronically and remotely is the best for the following reasons. The dashboard will change the perception of the councils, of the citizens towards district commissioners, members of parliament, as well as councillors. Because oftentimes, members of parliament, of which I'm one of them, we have been labeled as the squanderers of taxpayers' money when we are not. We are therefore giving an opportunity to citizens to interact and see where the money is going. It would again enable the government to monitor the projects real time. Thirdly, it allows us all to know where and how the developments are being done and why they are being delayed. It allows to identify the implementation bottlenecks. It enables evidence-based decision-making when something has gone wrong. It strengthens transparency and accountability to the citizens whose money is what we are using today. Most importantly, it increases transparency and accountability to Malawians. Allow me to say, district commissioners, His Excellency the President, the Chief Secretary, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Local Government, the Minister of Information, and other ministers will have a screen in their offices, including the PSs here, where they will be able to see exactly where the projects are. And allow me to thank MHub for the great work they have done. And probably before we even see it, let's clap hands for MHub. They have done a tremendous work. They have embedded in AI within the system. They have included GPS to the extent that anybody can just say, I want to see what is happening in Kafukule. And they will get to Kafukule, zoom in, zoom out. They will be able to see the project that you would have issued a certificate DCs to say it is at window level. And everybody will be able to see it is at a foundation level. So I want to encourage all of you that time for scandals, for conniving with contractors is no longer there. Openness and transparency is the word of the day. It has included as well, and it will include projects that are being funded by our partners. In this regard, I know that my ministry is implementing projects under GESID. We are implementing projects under ICIDA. We are implementing projects under the Regional Climate Resilience. And then we've got the CDF. For the time being, you will see and be taken through what the CDF will look like. When they open up the portals for the partners, having had a discussion with them, it will show as well exactly what is where at what time. Zikomo kwambiri, koma nimaona ngati hapa break imakhala ya president okha mundipesatu. There is a saying, garbage in, garbage out. This dashboard is only as good as the information that will be entered in it. If information is not uploaded promptly, the dashboard will lose its value. The projects are not updated, the projects get stuck, therefore we will not be able to see what's happening on the ground. But we can rest assured, the ICT officers from all your councils are in this room this afternoon and will be taken through to see exactly what is expected of them. And I'm pleased to report that the contractor who has been assigned to do this job has undertaken the responsibility of training the ICT officers across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, as I wind down, let me encourage district commissioners, chief executive officers to take personal interests on the dashboard. Do not delegate the whole responsibility to your officers. Unfortunately, you know me and know me well. This dashboard is attached to your performance appraisals. You fail me, before the president eats me, you would have been eaten. Allow me as well to highlight as they come that the public will have access to this portal. So the public will interact with it and will be able to tell us that the Tambani bridge that has been put in there, it is not that bridge. This is the actual picture of the bridge that is being constructed. I therefore invite the public to take full interest to this particular dashboard. The money that we sweat for, the taxes we have complained about, is about to transform our country. The CDF must translate to good roads, must translate to good hospitals, to good schools, and to the change of development in this country. I cannot thank His Excellency enough for allowing equal distribution of government pace by allocating this 5 billion to every constituency regardless of a political party one is affiliated to. We will develop this country like no man's business. And let me finally thank the honorable ministers for taking your time to be part of this historical event today. Malawi will never be the same again. I have decided to change. The president ordered me to change. And when the president speaks to me, I don't ask why, but I ask how high. It is for that reason, therefore, that Phiri is not part of the local government's DNA. We failed yesterday. We may have failed you last year, but the DCs here are ready to implement the reformed CDF. In that regard, may I allow all DCs to stand so that people should know who is getting their money, who is implementing these projects. Ladies and gentlemen, the 5 billion kwacha CDF is no longer in the hands of members of parliament. It is not in the hands of members of parliament. The 5 billion kwacha is not in the hands of councillors. The Public Finance Management Act recognizes a controlling officer. And in this case, the controlling officer are DCs and CEOs standing here today. I therefore would love to say the perception that these members of parliament are stealing your money, the perception that these members of parliament have got your CDF, the perception that these members of parliament are not doing anything should cease today. We have got in here the district commissioners, well trained, well qualified, well experienced. They are ready to execute, and they will do it this time around in style. Let us clap hands for them as they sit down. Akutipo kapa ndineneko muchichewa. Ndiye muchichewamo ndine na zinthu ziwiri. Chifukwa ku Malawi kuno kuli doubting Thomases. When the president said, I am going to devolve. Oh. Ndimaona ngati tikunena chomwecho. A president atanena kuti ndikutenga ndalama ndikupititsa kumudzi. Panali ena sadakhulupirire. Amati kodi ndalama zake akazitenga kuti. Lero a president iwo alemba ntchito ma directors, substantive directors in council wonse Malawi muno. If that was not 5 billion, I don't kuti sindikudziwa kuti ndichani koma talemba. A president iwo alemba staff yogwira ntchito constituency by constituency anthu atatu okwana 687. imeneyo ndiye CDF uyo. A president iwo apereka kale pama 100 miliyoni angongole ya amayi ndi anyamata apereka kale ndalama zokwanira 65 miliyoni mu CDF umo. Mwezi umene tikuyambawu ndalama za basale ya sukulu ya ulele ya ku primary ndi secondary ija kupangira chifukwa cha boarding ayika kale constituency iliyonse 150 million, ndipo anapo katsegulira akapeza ndalama ziliko. Ose amene amalota nkumaganiza kuti APM alephera, madzi achita katondo ayamba kukwera mtunda m'malo motsetsereka, zikuteka. Chachiwiri ndalama za boma zimayendetsedwa ndi malamulo, ndipo malamulo ena amayang'ana nkhani ya ndalama, Public Finance Management Act. Mmenemo amanena kuti kodi controlling officer kapena oyang'anira ndalama ndi ndani. Mmenemo sanatchule ndipo sakutchula za phungu wa nyumba ya malamulo, sakutchula za kuti ndi kansala. Mmenemo akutchula kuti ndi DC, ndipo ma DC wali nyumba mommono lero. Kuyambira pano zokuti IMP akutibera ndalama, IMP akusunga ndalama zathu, IMP sakutukula dera lathu, zimenezo zithe. Chifukwa president akuti zitukuko tidzipanga kumudziko, akatichita guide ma MP wankuzitenga ku Constituency Development Committee, ndiyo kuti mmadera muzikuyenda. Koma kuti ichi chikadutse ku parliament chimafunika aphungu wake amene awa. Budget manager amata kugwira vote anyamatawo. Tsopano simungachotsemo kuti amene wasaona diso lawo kuti zikuyenda bwanji. Aona nditu kuti mukuyendetsa bwanji thumba la ndalama. Koma ma DC wa ndi amene ali ndi udindo oonetsetsa kuti ndalama iliyonse ikugwira ntchito yoyenerera, ndipo akapanda kuchita bwino mwana wa mkulukuta moyo asanadyedwe ndi mkulukuta moyo. Ndikhala ndajakale wina apa chifukwa ndalama ya Malawi tikuyenera kuisamala. Ndimalize popempha Amalawi, tachita compare Malawi ndi maiko ngati Rwanda ndi maiko ena, kuti ayi Malawi sakutukuka, anzathu akutukuka. Koma anzathu aku Rwanda ndi kwinako anapanga maganizo kuti akufuna chitukuko. Ndi chifukwa chake mukapita ku Rwanda simukapeza street light itabedwa ndi Malawi, simukapeza bridge imene inamangidwa anthu atapita kukagumula nkumabapo zitsulo. Ngakhale ku South Africa kumene mumati kumabedwa kwambiri akamamanga nsewu kapena public infrastructure, any project to do with the public, cement amagona panja popanda mulonda saba, chifukwa anasankha kuti chinthu cha boma nchotetezedwa ndi wina aliyense. Mpaka nati dzapange maganizo a Malawi okuti tufuna Malawi atukuke. We can change governments anyhow, but we must make a decision kuti Malawi watu asinthe. I'm pleased to say the government today has decided and has given you the power. Mphamvu kwa anthu kasankheni zitukuko zimene mufuna, ndalama ndi izi. Ndi mawu amenewa ndinokondwa lero m'malo mwa state president kulengeza tsopano kuti tionere chimene chikhale chi dashboard icho kuti chioneka motani, ndipo tikachionera ndi kuchitiratu in advance deposit my official commissioning of the dashboard on behalf of His Excellency President. May God bless the President. May God bless Malawi. Thank you all.
Zikomo kwambiri. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I thought you were going to do the chief secretary way. Mina nadumpira banazizi musaguru. Honorable ministers, with your permission, allow me now to invite Dr. Lecho Siwande, who is going to take us through the presentation of the reformed CDF dashboard. But also just to make mention that at the back, we have 5 desktops that have been set there. If there is anyone who wants to do a run through of the dashboard, they are around to do so. Honorable ministers, may I now invite Dr. Rachel Siwande.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Honorable Dr. Ben Phiri, MP. The former Vice President, as we've heard, the 4th Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Kumbo Hastings Kachali. Honorable Chimwemwe Chipungu, Minister of Lands. Honorable Mary Navicha, Minister of Gender and Women Affairs. Honorable Charles Muhango, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Honorable Madalito Valoi, Minister of Health. Honorable Joel Chigona, Minister of Labor and Skills. Honorable Jean Matanga, Minister of Energy. The Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable Francis Foley. The Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Secretary to Local Government, all PSs present here today, development partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My humble duty this afternoon is to walk you through or give you a snapshot of the CDF dashboard. If we can have it on the screen, please. Thank you. So with this dashboard, you can visualize all constituency development fund projects across the country by region. As you can see, as I zoom in, you can see them by region. There are currently over 2,000 projects being implemented. I must say that the data we have in the system now is for demonstration purposes of how the art of the possible would look like when data has been fully populated. And so you can view projects by regions. For example, here there are over 2,000 projects, 823 in the center, 531 in the south, 300 in the eastern region. Again, you can also view projects by the different sectors. So, again, for demonstration purposes, you can see here there are over 349 projects in health, 276 in water and sanitation. There are a number of categories, as you can see, some of which are commercial services, and indeed also the public administration infrastructure is another sector. But I want to zoom in quite a bit on the left. This is the map of Malawi. And so it is an interactive map to the extent that if you click on any of the districts, you can get an aggregated summary of all the projects from the particular districts, from all the constituencies in that district. Before I move on further, I wanted to say that the color coding is such that the greener it is, the more projects there are. The greener it is, it means there are more than 100 projects. And then the lighter greener it is, the fewer projects there are. So if I were to zoom in and click on a district, for illustration purposes, let's go to Rumpi district as an example. You will notice that there are 59 projects in Rumpi. And then you can also get a disaggregated summary. 18 are in health and nutrition, 7 are in water and sanitation, and 4 are in the community security and justice sector, just as an example. We can also go to see maybe another additional district. Let's zoom in on Doha. So in Doha, as you can see, there are about 123 projects. They are disaggregated, as you can see in my zooming in. 63 of those projects are in the roads and bridges sector, 14 are in water and sanitation, and 5 are in the community security and justice sector, just to mention a few. We could also go to the Southern Region District of Balaka, and it is the same experience. So you can see the total number of projects, which sectors they are coming from. And so probably you're wondering now, how does one really get to see the actual projects by constituency? Because you would agree a district has a couple of constituencies. So we can go to a constituency. I am zooming in on Chitipa Central. So Chitipa Central, our honorable members of parliament, you'll be happy to know that the dashboard will show who is the member of parliament in that particular constituency. At the moment, as you can see for this particular example, it says Honorable Fiskani Barnett Nyondo is the member of parliament there. We do not have their picture yet. And so as the data gets populated, it will come with a picture of the member of parliament, their name, and the party that they represent. Again, now at a granular level, at constituency level, you can now see the specific projects in that particular constituency in the different sectors. As an example for Chitipa Central, without much ado, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, 5 projects are under the roads and bridges sector, 3 in health, 3 in water and sanitation, 1 in community security and justice. So maybe let's try another constituency now in the Central Region District of Doha. Again, this is Doha Mpudzu constituency. The member of parliament there is Honorable Martin Sungita from the Malawi Congress Party. The previous one I showed from Chitipa Central was Honorable Fiskani Barnett Nyondo, independent. Should have mentioned that. And so these are the projects. There are 13 in total. Again, you can see the disaggregation. Wanted to put in at least an example from each region. So that's why it might sound a little repetitive, but trust me, we are done with this particular show. Mangochi North. Our member of parliament there is Honorable Ismail Bawila Kazembe from the Democratic Progressive Party. 9 projects in total. That is the disaggregation, as you can see. 3 in health and nutrition, 3 roads and bridges, 1 project in water and sanitation, each for education, water, and motor vehicles and motorcycles. I'll move on to now really narrowing down deeper into a sector at constituency level. So, if we go back to our Chitipa Central example, we just want to see under roads and bridges, what are the specific projects, how much has been allocated, how much has been spent, which projects are in progress, which ones have been completed. So this is what you're going to get again with the Member of Parliament at the top. For this specific tab here, we can now even see the very specific subsectors, because roads and bridges is broad, but under roads and bridges, they are like culverts, footbridges, municipal town and community roads, or drainage infrastructure. So you can also specifically see how many projects under those subsectors. And so in this example, 4 of the 8 projects under roads and bridges in Chitipa Central are bridges, culverts, and footbridges. And then 2 are the rehabilitation and grading of roads. However, when you go a little bit down, you can actually search for other projects, but I wanted to specifically show you this feature. You can view the status of the different projects. You can decide that you want to see only those that have been awarded to contractors, those that are currently under implementation, or indeed those that have been completed, or better still, you want to know which ones have been delayed, which ones have stalled or have been suspended. That is all very possible to view. But in any case, let's go down a little bit. Perhaps before I go there, I hope you did note that it does show you the total budget and the total current spend. But if I go down a little bit further, we can zoom in on, let's say, one project. What you see here is a list of the various projects under roads and bridges. But if we zoom in on one, let's take this one, grading of Ichinga to Makalomba Road. There will be a subtext that just explains what exactly in brief is happening. So like in this case, it says it will involve grading and construction of 2 bridges along that road. We can take it a little further to zoom in on that particular road grading. So it's like we're getting deeper and deeper. We started with like the national view, the district view, constituency view. Now we are in the constituency. We're looking at a sector. We now have gone to specific projects. You can now even have the GPS location. You can zoom in on it to actually see where that road is. And on the right side, you can see the budget that was approved for that road construction, what has been used so far, what is remaining, when that project started. Like in this case, it started in December 2025, again for illustration purposes, and that's the month expected to end. I wanted you to pay attention to this feature where pictures of the specific projects can actually be uploaded in the system, and where you can also get feedback from citizens. For example, I want to zoom in on this comment from a citizen. They say, please ensure that drainage points are considered as the road is graded so that the work lasts through the rainy season. Well, maybe those citizens' comments were not as interesting, so let's try to move on to another constituency. This is in the central region. The constituency is Mchinji West. Honorable Rita Sanga is our MP there. Again, we've zoomed in on the education sector. There are 5 projects. None have been completed. What has been allocated is what you see there, 1.78 billion kwacha. Only 780 million has been used so far. Again, for illustrative purposes, in the education sector, the disaggregation of the subsectors are things like administration blocks, school furniture and decks, teacher development centers, teacher houses, and so on. These are the projects in this particular area, but perhaps let's zoom in on one. This is the Bua Primary School. So it shows you where it is, the approved budget, again, on the right. Now, here's an interesting example. Initially, the picture that was shared was of a fence that was complete, somehow. It was standing. I'm not sure if you can see if I zoom in. But here comes a comment from a citizen, which is why it is important for citizens to access and participate in this portal, where the citizen says, "Koma, laba skului lagwa. Tikupempha council aikonze kapena amange mpanda olimba mwachangu kuti ana akhale otetezeka." And then they've even uploaded the picture of the fence that has fallen. This is a classic example of where citizen participation and accessibility to information is going to be enhanced through the dashboard. You might be wondering, yes, this is a website. I want to mention that the citizens can participate through accessing the web for the privileged, but also even using basic SMS. The ministry will put out a short code number through which when citizens send in their messages, they will be collated, crowdsourced, and somehow will appear here and in other channels. Same, it was in the spirit of making sure we can show examples from every region. This is in Cholo, Vumbwe, Masenjere, Honorable Mchacha's constituency. He represents the Democratic Progressive Party. Again, those are some of the projects in that area by sector. We can zoom in on one particular one in the community security and justice space. In that space, what you see is court staff houses, furniture, magistrates court. For this particular one, there is the Vumbwe Court Chilizagadzua electrification project. And wanted to show an example of citizen participation, so you can zoom in to look at the specific GPS location. That's the picture of the electrification process going on. And there's an interesting comment from a citizen that says, "Tikupempha kuti ntchito ya magetsi ikhale yotetezeka kwa ana ndi anthu odutsa pafupi ndi msewu." Our final example is from Mangochi, Southwest. The Member of Parliament there is Honorable Shadrack Namalomba from the Democratic Progressive Party. Again, you can see the summary number of projects per sector. When we zoom in to the health and nutrition sector, there are only two projects. One has been completed, 1.4 billion kwacha allocated, 1.15 billion has been used. Now we can zoom in on the one project, which is Chilipa Community Health Center. Again, here you can see that the approved budget was 867 million kwacha. 616 million kwacha has been used. There's a balance of 251 million kwacha to be spent. The project started in December 2025. It should complete in December 2026. So that's the picture of the project under construction. I wanted to go to, so some of the comments are positive, but I wanted to look at this particular comment from a citizen, just to emphasize the value that this has for citizens. Yes, akhala kulondoloza ndalama zawo kuti zikuyenda bwanji, but they can also participate by asking questions like this. This particular one says, please consider how patients will continue receiving services safely while the upgrading work is underway. And so this is a very important question that would call for the attention of the Council in partnership with the Ministry of Health to make sure that people continue to receive services. I also just wanted to mention that, give me a moment. Okay, yes. So if you look at this progress bar, not sure if you had noticed it already, it's in red, it says project progress. And then on the far right, it shows you the actual percentage. Like in this case, it says 30%. This is based off the physical work happening on the ground. And so it can also be a place of discussion by local authorities to gauge, to say, if the project is at 30%, and yet we only have so much to spend, like, does it make sense? Or have there been any challenges that need to be resolved? And maybe there's been fraud. Those are some of the things to look into. Marrying the project progress percentage vis-a-vis what is left to be spent. So as you can see, this sort of data will make for more evidence-based decision-making and quality conversations at the local authority. I want to finish by showing you the constituency report section. In this section, you will have all reports for any project available to be downloaded and consumed by any stakeholder. So for example, on your left, as you can see, it's all the districts, councils with the number of projects. And then you can also go to look at the specific project. For example, this is an example of a project we put in, a report rather. It's the construction of a road, I believe should be in Cheu, because it says Dombole, Mpepo Zinai, Chauya, Dakeka, Magora. But it provides all details around that particular project. The physical progress, the financial progress, the approved budget, what has been used, what has not been used, in case there is need to look at some specific detail. These can be downloaded rather per constituency. As the minister mentioned, and I'll finish now, we've also integrated AI capabilities. It's just that the internet in the room is not working too well, but there's an AI chatbot embedded within the dashboard where you can type in your natural language, even in Chichewa, because there have been a lot of advancements in training artificial intelligence models to be conversant with local languages. And as a policy maker, a parliamentarian, a councillor, or a development partner, or indeed a citizen, I want to know what projects are there, so I can type in there, or I can use voice. Kuti kodi zitukuko zimene zikuchitika ku dera la Lilongwe Chirobwe, ku nkhani ya zaumoyo ndiziti, ndipo zimene zamalizidwa ndiziti, zimene zatsalira ndiziti, ndalama zagwiritsidwa ntchito ndizingati. By just putting in that prompt, just like I have spoken, the AI bot will be able to generate and bring summarized, visually appealing, easy to consume report, so that if you want to make a quick decision, you can do that quick enough. I'd imagine that the Honorable Minister can use that to even prompt and say which councils, which local authorities or municipalities are the highest performing in a particular sector or overall, or indeed to our honorable ministers, if you want to follow in your various sectors, Honorable Baloi, maybe it's Minister of Health, you want to understand which are the top 10 constituencies in terms of completeness and high levels of progress in the health sector. Just that prompt in normal English, it should be able to bring you a simple report. With that, honorable ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will take a pause. We have set up a number of stations at the back for those that want to just get a feel to experience how to use it after we are done. And we will be sharing the portal through the ministry. It will be pretty straightforward and easy to remember. I think something like cdfmalawi.com, but it will be publicized officially by the ministry. Perhaps before I step down, because I see David from the Iceland Embassy, I know the minister said we'll also be tracking projects from other development partners. So that's the last bit. It's still under development. When and as when the development partners are open, this will be the sort of page where we can see all the other projects funded by other development partners. They should look about the same. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rachel. Honorable ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the time we have all been waiting for is now here. You can't have a wedding without a cake. So as we launch these dashboards, we are going to have makombola. Ngati maopa makombola, chonde tulukirani tunibanja. Ngoma zilile pano. This time, Honorable Minister, allow me to invite you to the podium for the launch.
Thank you very much. I had to be inducted in case Cindy Bomu, Cindy Vuta. But I can't do this alone. This is a national dashboard. Allow me to invite all cabinet ministers in front and all members of parliament representing us Malawians and councillors will be enough here so that chikalira chirire kunoko. Chititsalire ifeyo. Come on, come. Come. We are the elected representatives of the people. Come. Nduna mutawubwera kuntunda kuno. Bwerani nduna kuntunda kuno. Ma councillors ankanga TNT alane hapa. Ma MP bwerani kuntunda ma MPs. Ma councillors TNT alane pasi pamenepa. TNT alane pamenepa. Alane pamenepa. Zikomo kwambiri. Zikomo a chief secretary. Tikana kuiwalani itu. Fikana chief secretary. Ndiye andiuza kuti nditobwanye chotobwanya kunoko. Chita chitike icho sindikudziwa kuti ndi chani. Koma ndiye ndikutobwanyatu. Chimene andiuzacho. We officially declare this dashboard launched. Thank you very much. Ambuye akudalitseni, ambuye adalitsa president athu. Zikomo kwambiri. Thank you very much.
When the minister is happy, we are all happy.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Very big congratulations. This is Bob. Thank you, sir.
Honorable ministers, tafika hapa mpamapeto, nimpempe chimwemwe kuti atseke ndi pemphero.
Shall we bow our heads and close with a word of prayer? Almighty Father, Father of mercy, and we want to say thank you for such a beautiful afternoon that we had. We want to say thank you for protecting us. We want to say thank you, Almighty Jehovah, for your mercy. In Jesus' mighty name, as we disperse, Father, we pray that may you go before us. May you lead us, Almighty Jehovah. May you bless our leaders. May you bless the president of this country, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. May you bless our honorable ministers. Bless our MPs. Bless everyone, Almighty Jehovah, that you've entrusted with leadership. In the mighty name of Jesus, be with us, cover us, guide us. We pray all this in your name. Amen. Honorable Minister, there are members of the media outside, so I will humbly request that you meet them for a short interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah, while the minister is going to have the interviews, may I request the district commissioners to remain behind. We have a short meeting with the minister after the interviews. So district commissioners, don't go away.
The district commissioners, we need to remain here. The district commissioners and COs, we have to remain here.